Hello, my name's Tessa Broad. I'm the author of Dear You, A Letter to My Unborn Children. I'll read just a short extract because I think if I see a video is going to be more than about 10 minutes, I think I'll watch that later, and later never comes. So here's just a snippet of the sorts of things I would have told my children had they arrived. I'll start at the beginning. Dear You, I'm not sure how many people I'm writing to here. Sometimes I've imagined myself with 2 children, sometimes with 3. It doesn't matter how many I've imagined, none of you came into being. So why am I writing to you? For catharsis? For closure? Lordy, as I write the word closure, I'm hearing it said in an American accent, for it sounds so self-helpy, psychobabble. But no, closure is not the reason, nor catharsis. I'm writing to you simply because I feel that I know you, that I love you, and I'd like you to get to know me. I want this letter to feel like you have spent time with me, and me with you. If children had happened for me when I wanted them to, you would by now be grown-ups. So I will write to you as your adult selves, and tell you about the mother I would have been to you, and the childhood I envisaged for you. I will pass on the family rituals that I would have invented for my real children. I'll talk to you of my values, my loves and my pet hates. I'll write about the big stuff, like coping with the loss of a loved one, the importance of kindness, and why I think it's vital to follow your hearts and dreams in order to craft a life that you love. I will also tell you how to make tasty, lump-free gravy, how to make your home smell like it's been cleaned from top to bottom just from hoovering the hall, what to say in a condolence card, and I'll let you in on a unique way to stop an insect bite from itching. I'll also tell you how I long to hear you call me Mummy. As we are never to meet, I can be your perfect mother. My dreams of motherhood can remain a rosy-coloured vision for me, and you, my imagined children, can be all I would have wanted you to be, and that is not to be perfect, but to be perfectly yourselves. Having said that, now that you are adult, you are rarely in my thoughts. I no longer need you there. This would obviously be an unspeakably cruel thing to say to a real child, but not for the one that's invented. It's like the imaginary friend of the lonely or creative youngster. When that friend is no longer required, it feels like a positive thing, a sign of healing perhaps. Indeed, the fact I no longer need you is freeing for me. It means I've reached a place of peace, where I am no longer struggling to play a role I wasn't cast for. This letter is an indulgence for me at a time when the children and friends of my family are, like you, becoming adults. And so for my contemporaries, the role of grandparent might soon be beckoning. It's another job I will be unqualified to do, but it's a situation that this time around I won't need to imagine. I will recount the journey I took to try to bring you into my life, how the quest to conceive you made me feel, what I lost and gained along the way, and how the woe-begone wannabe mummy that I once was became the woman I am now, childless but chilled, sailing through Mother's Day with a smile on my face. I will be honest with you, and at times my language will be candid and the subject explicit. But I hope most of all to make you smile. I feel I must be writing this letter to a daughter, and I would have named you Lily, after my maternal grandmother, a woman I have never met, as she died aged 41 when my own mother was just 15. While I never knew my grandma, I've always felt a strong connection to her. In my imaginings, I would be writing to at least one son, maybe 2. I'm not sure what names I would have given you. Perhaps my husband and I might have chosen to go down the Victoria and David Beckham route and name our children from the place of his or her conception. Any of you children might have been called Portland, Cromwell, Central Middlesex, or University College Hospital, for reasons that will become clear later. I suppose I could have also chosen a quirky test tube for you to suffer all your days. Whatever your names, when you were babies, I would imagine holding your squashy little bodies, breathing in your scent, feeling your oh so soft skin against mine. I'd gaze in wonder at your tiny hands, toes and noses. I'd imagine your giggles and gurgles and the dinky little clothes I would have dressed you in. Conversely, I know I would have balked at the ghastly primary coloured plastic toys I would have had to acquire. I would have let you have them, but all the while I would have been craving something antique or vintage looking, made of wood or metal and stored neatly in an aesthetically pleasing toy box. I wouldn't have been averse to a bit of mess though. I enjoy my orderly, clutter-free home of the childless, but I would have enthusiastically dived into the carnage that goes with potato printing, papier-mâché and the like. We would have baked together too, and whenever I bake, every work surface in the kitchen is covered in debris, flour, eggshells, sugar and all manner of spillages, so adding small children to the mix wouldn't have greatly increased the mess I already create for myself. I'm also inclined to narrate out loud a Great British Bake Off style commentary when I bake, to amuse myself. We might also have been little sewing bees, and I would have told you of the calamity that accompanied my first sewing project. I arrived home from school, triumphant, clutching my homemade pencil case with fitted zip. But I felt it looked a little creased, and so spotting the ironing board out with a still warm iron on top of it, I gave it a quick press before showing my mum. Sadly, I wasn't to know that the material issued by the school was of a synthetic nature, which meant my carefully crafted pencil case ended up a shrivelled, molten mess stuck to the iron. It didn't put me off needlework, just ironing, which wasn't difficult. I've often imagined entertaining ourselves, say on a wet afternoon, February half term maybe, by holding a mini disco in our kitchen. Kitchen discos, in my opinion, can be enjoyed at any age. The music is always great and you can be the star of the dance floor. Dancing seems to be prohibited when you reach a certain age, which I think is a shame. For sure, I would embarrass you beyond belief at any event attended by the whole family that included alcohol and a dance floor. I love a bop. And with a few drinks aboard, I think I am Beyoncé and or Madonna. I'm rather too fond of saying she's older than me. But I imagine it's true even for her. Yes, for sure, the sexy dance floor gyrations of Madonna's Trying Too Hard days would have embarrassed the hell out of her adolescent daughter. This is not the first letter I've written to you. I wrote to you in November 2001. It was around the time when I was struggling with the news of an oldie pregnancy. The letter, around 2 pages of A4, was a gushy missive full of love and wonder. You would have only been aged around 8, 6, and if I'd had a third child, 4. Again, I wrote of the sort of mother I would have been to you then, and the life we would have shared. How I would have loved you. Oh, how I would have loved you. I signed it, all my love, my angels, Mummy, and I put 3 kisses beneath. I can hardly put into words how it felt to write the word Mummy. For the briefest of moments, it felt real. I think that first letter heralded my acceptance. It was a cathartic exercise to express my love for you at last. I still feel this love for you. It's deep within me, but with nowhere for it to go. Sometimes when I feel a little tug of grief at having never really known you, I read that first letter I wrote to you. And yes, dear children, I read it and weep. Thanks so much for watching.